Hello class, here I will be showing you an example of what you can do with formulas in Excel and how we can use this to relate to our unit of three-dimensional solids in calculating their surface area and their volume. So in this example I'm going to do a triangular prism, and specifically we're going to do an equilateral triangle. So that means on the base, so if you look at this one, all those lengths are the same. Okay, so what I'm going to do is calculate the height, the area of the base, it's the bottom, the lateral area, that's the sides, those three rectangles, the total surface area, and the volume, but everything to the right of the length is going to be calculated by the computer. We're going to make it like automatic. The only input when we're done we have to put in will be the length of the triangular base. So that's our parameters. That's our constraint here. That's the only thing you can put in. So this will be inputted by the user. Now the height, if I have that length, can be calculated using the Pythagorean theorem. Because if you have a triangle, what we want to do is use the Pythagorean theorem to find the actual height if we have like the hypotenuse. So if you ever want to put in a formula, like what I wanted to do is to take the length of the side, that's the hypotenuse. So in this case that would be D8. So like for example, if I just put D8, whatever number goes here will go there. But I need to relate it to the formula. So I know that in this it's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And we have the c and we have the a. So we need to do square root, oops, if you have an error, let's say that, of c squared, that will be the length of the triangular base, this little guy right here. So D8, because I want it to reference this. And instead of squaring it, I'm just going to multiply it by itself. And then minus half, so I'm going to do 0.5 D8. Oh, you need to put the multiplication in between, otherwise it will say an error. Okay, so this is just reversing the Pythagorean theorem. We're solving for one of the sides. That would be the height of the base, just right here, that triangle. Let's see if it works. If you press enter. Okay, so let's see. If the length of the triangular base is 5, that would make half of it, yeah, it will figure out the height of the triangular base. Right, and the hypotenuse should be the biggest, so that makes sense. Right, so it automatically will fill in this in. If you want to go back and edit it, you just double click. And the thing I want to edit is the fact that it's not rounding. So if you want to round, you put round around it, and see, it comes up with how to use it. So it's rounding, it's going to give you the number. You put a comma and the number of digits. So I have this whole thing. I'm taking the square root of, c squared minus a squared. That whole number ends there, and I want it to round to the second digits place. Everything on the sheet we're going to round. So that if I put in 10, it says 7.07 rather than that whole long thing it said before. Okay, so the area of the base, it's triangle, so I'm going to do 1/2 the length of the base, which is, so I need to put times, which is D8, times the height, which I just calculated in E8, times E8. So if this was 5, oh, and this is rounding because this is rounded. But you have to be careful, like if I said this was 4.3, look, that's too long. So I also need to round it. So I'll put round. There's the number of digits, 2 digits. All right. Now the lateral area are the 3 rectangles, but because it's an equilateral triangle, all those rectangles are going to be the same. Oh, you know what? We need to be given the height of the prism. Okay, so this is actually good. I need to insert a column. I can insert it here. So let's see. Insert. Did I do it? Yeah, but I want... Alright, so I just moved this one. Before I find the lateral area, I need the height. So that also needs to be one of my inputs that goes in. So I'm just going to put a star here, because who's ever interacting with the sheet needs to put the ones with a star in. Alright, so let's say the height is 7. The lateral area will be equal to the triangular base length, so that little base length, times the height. That's how I get one of the rectangles. So the length of the triangular base is I'm not going to write 4.3 because that's going to change. D8, right? See, it's saying I'm referencing that cell, times the height, right? For a rectangle, it's length times width. So the height is not, don't put 7, put G8. But since there's 3 of these, I'm going to put times 3. And you know what? We need to make sure it rounds. So I'll put round. That's the number of digits, 2 digits. The total surface area you get by the area of the bases. This is just one base plus the lateral area. So it's double the area of the base, which is an F8, plus the lateral area. That's the total, so I don't have to like double it or anything. H8. Great. And now the volume, since this is a regular prism, is area of the base times the height. So we have the area of the base in F8. Remember, put equals if you want it to give you. Look what would happen if I didn't put equals. I want F8, area of the base, times the height, which is G7. If I don't put equals, it just leaves it like that. It thinks it's text. You have to put equals for it to think it's a formula. Oop, what's the issue here? F8 times, oh, not G7, I want G8. And is this one rounded? You know, this isn't rounded, but oop, careful not to click outside. What was that, H8? I'm going to round this one. Round to parentheses the second decimal place. Okay, and what you can do here is take the corner of the cell, and let's say we want to take this formula and we want it to apply all the way down. You take the corner of the cell and you just drag it all the way to triangle 10. And drag it, and it's saying 0 because there's nothing for it to calculate. It's like referencing empty cells. The total surface area and the volume. Alright, I'm just going to make these red so that the user knows that's what they have to put in. Or you could have put height like right here next to the length. So let's say the length of the triangular base is 8. So it can calculate what it can. Oh, it shouldn't be able to calculate total. Well, that's total surface area without the lateral. So the height, let's say, is 13 inches. And then it calculates everything for you. And it can do that forever. You know what? I'm going to move this somewhere else. I'm going to move these over. I'm just cutting and pasting. Oh, I wonder if that changes the formulas. Whew, let's check. So lateral area should be referencing, let's see, D8. Yeah, so it moved with it. That's great. Times E8. Oop. And if you just input these two, for some reason this font is off, so I'm going to change it. Oh, it's not Century Gothic, everything else. There. And as you fill it in, it'll calculate everything for you. Let's see, it was a really tall prism. Wow, that made the volume. Oh, a really big number. Okay, and we'll talk about more on this project in the next video.